Welcome to the Holy Smokes Podcast, a show about faith, friendship, fine tobacco, and drink. I'm Steve Ryder, and the Godfather, the Pope of the Smoke. He is in Colorado Springs, and I wanted to record an update with what's going on with Kay and what's going on with Holy Smokes, just to let everyone know and catch them up on some really cool stuff that's going on. And so, Kay, welcome back to Colorado Springs. You've packed up all your stuff and you are moving.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. It's great to be back in Colorado Springs. And, you know, it's bittersweet. You know, I've been hitting the different lounges while we've been here, different man caves. I was at the Sea Garage the other night, and I just was at Etienne and Megan's place.
The study. It's so nice.
My gosh.
It's so nice.
With that hidden door and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And the venting in there is incredible.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're sitting right now in the Lion's Den, Derek Fulmer's place, where he hosts us for the conclave, you know, in his backyard. Yeah. So it's been wonderful being back. I've been on the road for about 9 months now. We sold our place in Colorado Springs, and we have finally landed in Franklin, Tennessee.
Now, why Franklin? Anywhere in the nation you could have gone.
Yeah.
What is it about Franklin?
Yeah, great question. So we were looking at essentially two places. One was Austin, Texas, Lakeway area. Love that whole Texas vibe down there. Got a lot of friends. For me, I'm very relational driven. You know?
Yeah, Marcellus is down there,
man.
Tim Phillips.
David Gonzalez. I mean, just a lot of dear friends over the years. And then I also was checking out Franklin, Tennessee. And the reason why Franklin came up on the radar was
which is funny because these are the two hottest markets probably in the entire nation. Why of all places are you are you choosing these two markets that are just going freaking crazy?
Exactly. So I was, you know, we've been thinking about 2 years about the Lord just leading us from Colorado Springs. That our time was up here. We've been here since '96.
Yeah.
So that's 26 years. Mm-hmm. And though I have a phenomenal group of friends here, obviously, great community, Holy Smokes is very big here. Some of my best and dearest friends are here, you included, and Bryson, other people, of course. Yeah. You know, every night I could just cruise here. Yeah. However, the Lord was just saying, I have something else for you. And so what I'm doing now is living in Franklin. So the reason why I decided on Franklin, Tennessee was I was fishing in Montana with the Refuge Foundation, with Brian Carpenter's group. Great ministry. Got to check it out, Refuge Foundation, where they take pastors and leaders away for 3 days doing, you know, Orvis-guided fishing trips.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Nice.
Outside of Billings, Montana. So I'm there with a bunch of folks, some friends from all over the country, and these 4 guys from Franklin were there. And I just hit it off with them. They asked really deep questions about the Lord, where I'm at with God, what has God been speaking to me about. We, you know, laughed a lot, hung out a lot, just relationally just really hit off. So I thought, oh, great, 4 new friends in Franklin. 3 weeks later, I'm with Fellowship Adventures, led by Jeff Moore, also Holy Smokes' brother, out of Franklin. And he also takes pastors and leaders away. And I'm with him a few weeks later as a guest of Arnie Atkinson from Dallas, right? And at Buckner International. And so I'm sitting there in South Dakota in the lodge, and these 4 same dudes from Franklin walked in. Yeah.
Same dudes?
Same dudes. And they all said, Kay, and then we hadn't coordinated or anything. We all were surprised. We started laughing. And they all said, Kay, this is the word of the Lord to you that you're supposed to move to Franklin. And I take things like that really seriously, that when things...
Even when people joke?
Oh, yeah, because... when serendipity or coincidences like that, I don't believe that there are coincidences in the kingdom of God. And if you start seeing things like that, you sort of go, God, are you trying to tell me something? And sometimes us thick-headed guys, we just need something to slap us like a 2x4 across. So that's pretty, 3 weeks later, I'm going, meet the same dudes.
Yeah.
So we had a great conversation. And so Julie and I, my wife and I of 32 years now, we intentionally started going every quarter to check out the different seasons. And went fall, summer, winter, spring, and just really enjoyed the people there. Well, we sold our house in Colorado Springs, which was really one of the first things. And then we were just like, well, God, where do you want us to move? Is it Franklin? Is it somewhere else? Where is it? And we were even thinking about Singapore for a while. We were thinking about other places. Of course, Lakeway was one of them in Texas. And we said, Lord, you got to make it clear to us. And it hasn't been since college, bro. Since we were in this position of, God, where do you want us? Right?
Yeah.
Now here I am, 57, I'm at a place where, Lord, I just want to be pliable to you.
Yeah.
So Julie and I prayed, and we started going, we're not going to commit to anywhere. We're just going to go different places, wherever God leads us and directs us to go. And for the last 9 months, we have had just an amazing adventure. We've gone to Mexico 6 or 7 times. We've been to Alabama at a lake house that was given to us for free for a month. We were in Steamboat Springs for 2 months at a guest house, beautiful place there for 2 months for free. And then just recently in Nashville, since October 31st, a friend of mine, Gary Hopwood, gave us a place to stay there. Totally pro bono. Just said, hey, I don't know if you ever thought about Nashville area, but I have this place you can use. I'm not going to be there till February. And sure enough, we stayed there. And as we started getting to know the Nashville area, especially Nashville and Franklin, which is 30 minutes south of Nashville, we just fell in love with the people and the place, and we said, we could settle here. So we started the whole thing. We understand there's over 600 people moving into Nashville a day. And so we went into that hottest market trying to buy a house, dude, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
And total God story how we got the house. But we're moving into Franklin to our new place on Tuesday.
Well, go ahead and tell that story, and tell it as short or as long as you want, because you just told it to me, and I was like, bro, that is so freaking amazing, because you guys looked at 90 houses. 90 homes, physically walked through. So every Thursday to Sunday, we would look at 5 to 10 homes since October 31st. And by the way, I'm smoking a Tatuaje. What are you smoking? I have, when I was in Dallas last April, I went to the Ash with Rod Jones and Yale and a bunch of other guys. Lucas Pincard showed up, and the Ash has some house blends. Ooh. And I got a handful of the house blends, and this is the darker one that I got. Nice. And these house blends, the barber pole was so freaking good. It was, wow. I got 2 of them, and I smoked both of them, and I'm like, awesome. Oh, wow. Next time I go to Dallas, which I'm going probably March or April, cool. I'm going to get some more, because they are just excellent sticks.
Very nice. Yeah, it smells great. So this is how we got the house. So we're checking out all these homes. We've seen about 90 homes. We made 5 offers. The 5th offer was $670 list. We put an offer in at $750, and someone came in with $850 all cash, no contingencies offer. Blew us out of the water. Right? So Julie and I were like, okay, Lord, if you want us here, it's got to be a miracle.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. So I'm at a bourbon tasting with a bunch of Holy Smokes dudes. Of course.
Which there's, you said there's a really growing group there in the Nashville area. You said 50 guys already.
50 guys so far in Nashville, Franklin. And Lance Villio, who has a company called thinknative.com, great guy, invited me to a bourbon tasting with 40 guys, some of them Holy Smokes guys. And he came up to me at this tasting 2 days after we made this offer and it failed. He goes, hey, Kay, are you still looking? I said, yeah. He goes, my neighbor's planning on moving. And they don't want to list it because they have 8, 6, and a 4-year-old, and they homeschool, and they don't want to go through the whole rigmarole, cleaning the house and to show it and stuff. So I texted her, saw the house, and that day, my wife Julie, who was with her mom in Glendale, California, she died at like 8 in the morning as I'm driving over to go look at the house. Mm-hmm. So I told her, I said, hey, do you want me to just videotape this? And she goes, no, I want to FaceTime it. So I had my broker take her around the house, look at it. And we happen to know the model because it's the same model as my friend Lance's house, which is 5 doors down.
Yeah.
And by the way, next door neighbor is a Holy Smokes brother too. Now. So we got a little community going on already. And she looked at the house. She talked to the owner. And the owner got off the phone with her. And she said, okay, we're giving it to you at this price. We're going to pay your broker's fee, my broker's fee, okay? Because she's selling by owner.
Yeah.
And we'll put a new carpeting upstairs, and we're going to paint the place, and we'll throw in a new dishwasher. The place is only 2 years old. So I said, hey, I'm a follower of Jesus. I need to pray about it, if you don't mind. Can you keep it off the market for another day? She said, absolutely. Totally respect that. So that was Saturday. We waited, prayed, and Sunday we gave the offer, and within an hour they accepted it. So the next week we called them and said, hey, can we go to dinner and just hear your story and get to know you? and we really hit it off. And so we got together for dinner over, Indian food. Julie and I with Jody and Klain, and we just hit it off. He's a doctor moving from Nashville down to Texas, so I'm going to try to link him up with our guys down in Dallas Fort Worth. He's going to go work at the Baylor Medical Center. Yeah. And dude, he's a Mormon guy, right? And he goes, Kay, I want a life with a purpose. I want to do medical missions. Do you know anybody who could help me?
Do you know any people?
So I started connecting him.
Little did he know who he was asking.
That's right. And so it just opened up such an engaging conversation with them about the Lord, about purpose in life, future stuff. And it's just, if just for that, it was worth it. So that's kind of the story about the house.
Well, I can't wait to go out there and meet all of those Nashville area guys. I actually have someone that I went to high school with, Nathan Philippi, who lives in the area as well. He's in the group and hasn't. So I'm going to, once you guys start getting regular, I'll make sure to let him know and add him so he can come.
Yeah. So there's some great guys now that are doing some amazing things. And, other podcasts love to talk about how we're organizing it, how to organize, how to organize a Holy Smokes group, how to organize a city type of thing. And in Nashville, Franklin, Franklin's about 30 minutes south of Nashville, Steve. So you got two very distinct communities. You have sort of the Franklin people and you have the Nashville people. And if you haven't been in Nashville lately, it is just going crazy. Skyscrapers, a lot of money coming in, businesses, a lot of folks moving there. But it's a very creative, entrepreneurial place, and a lot of ministries. And I was here during the great kind of gold rush time of Colorado Springs, where you had a ton of ministries moving in, including Focus, where you worked at. And it feels the same vibe.
Really?
It's crazy. I mean, there are so many ministries moving into town, so many Christian businessmen, investment bankers, family wealth people. I mean, the Lord is doing something
as well as
special.
Celebrities. You said there are a lot of celebrities that are in the area moving in. I just saw this week, Aaron Rodgers, Packers quarterback, just bought a bunch of land and is going to be building there.
So crazy. So I'm at this Holy Smokes event for a friend, and he's hosting us at this beautiful barn, bourbon tasting going on. I won't drop names there, but I went up to the guy and I said, hey, man, I really want to thank you for hosting. This is really beautiful. And so what do you do? And the three guys that was with me, they all started laughing. He goes, well, he thought I was joking with him.
Yeah.
Well, the guy had won 2 World Series in 2 separate teams for Major League Baseball. He goes, I play baseball. I was like, whoa. You're right. Then I'm at another dinner, and there's a bunch of people there, and I went up to a guy and I said, hey, so what do you do for a living? He goes, yeah, I'm a golfer, Well, PGA golfer.
PGA.
Yeah. It's like, okay. But the fact that I didn't even know, was kind of funny. So another dude, a guy named Chad Jeffers, who's part of Holy Smokes.
I love Chad. I can't wait to meet Chad in person.
So creative, bro. Such a humble spirit. Love the guy. I mean, he goes, we were getting together for sticks during the COVID time before we moved there. This was like about a quarter ago, about 4 or 5 months ago. And he said, hey, Kay, I want to get together and hang out and get to know you because you're thinking about moving here, So we get together for a stick. And he goes, I said, so what do you do? He goes, well, right now I'm selling real estate, and I focus on celebrities and music people moving here or looking for homes. That's kind of my niche. I said, oh, that's awesome. Because that's not really my main gig. I said, well, Chad, what is it? He goes, he goes, actually, I'm a musician, I said, really? What do you play? So he names off like 11, 12 instruments. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're really good. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm actually on a band and I play for an artist. And I go,
what artist?
What artist, of course, right? And he goes, well, you probably heard of her. Her name's Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Now, I'm 57. I'm a James Taylor, Jackson Brown dude. I don't listen to country. I don't listen to, or any of that. I said, Carrie, and he looks at me and goes, dude, you don't know? I said, no, dude. He goes, that is hilarious.
That is so awesome.
He said, man, I'm going to have you meet her someday just to tell that story. She's going to love it. and that really talks about the vibe there. There's no pretenses. There's really a sincere humility. And you know what's really cool about it? And this is kind of interesting. And remember, I've traveled to 120 nations.
Yeah.
So I'm a cross-cultural maven. When they say, how are you doing? Okay, in California.
It's
like, what do you want from me? Right?
Really?
Yeah, it's like, say, hey, how you doing? Like, you're waiting for the next thing is they're going to hit you up for something, right?
Yeah.
Colorado, it's like, how you doing is more of a greeting, right? Hey, how you doing? And then you move on to something else. Or they just say hi, they just walk away. But in Nashville, Franklin, when they say, how are you doing? They want to sit down and like really know how you're doing.
Wow.
And they're present. And that's what I'm kind of learning from that culture of just being present there, you know, and just being there to really listen, and just the sense of time, you know, and the physical awareness of being there for that person.
Do you think that's a Southern culture thing?
For sure it's Southern. And the gentility, the humility, the civility. I mean, no matter who, like, you're at a gas station, you say yes sir to that person, or yes ma'am, to the attendant. It doesn't matter. It's just like, you know. Now I have learned about the phrase, oh, bless her heart, or bless his heart, which means really, what a freaking idiot, right? If they say it a certain way, you know. But everybody's and this is also there's pros and cons to every culture, and the con is, or the downside, if you want to say it that way, is everybody's a Christian, right? It's very cultural,
but as cultural Christian,
right? So as you dive deeper in, you kind of find out how are they really applying from a praxis standpoint Jesus in their lives. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been fun. I'm still exploring it, still getting to know it. October, you know, we're moving into our place here this week, and obviously, you know, just building community there and being a catalyst for that.
I cannot wait to come out, stay with you, and get to know some of those brothers that are out there, and get Chad on the podcast, and get all these names that you were that we've talked about. You're, you need to talk to this. This person's got to be on the podcast. Yeah. This person. So I have a feeling I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to come back with even more than I came back with when I went to Dallas, Fort Worth last year.
Which is such a rich community down there, and there's so many. And what I love about them, and what you'll love too, and you appreciate, and I'm sure, you know, our brothers and sisters on Holy Smokes community will, is that they're storytellers. You know, which is so rich.
Yeah,
they know how to craft a tale, and you're gonna have to really pull it out of them when it comes to them, because they're just, like I said, just humble dudes. You know, some of them like very successful in their own right, and for them, success is really the relationships and friends that they have, which is really neat.
Well, for Holy Smokers that are listening, if you have friends, family that enjoy an occasional cigar, and think they would enjoy being a part of a group like this, be sure to add them to the Facebook group, get them registered on the website. You've created a special Facebook group for the Nashville, Franklin area, and I'm in that one, and I see how it's growing. And
so we're over 4,700 on the main private secret page, you know, that you have to be invited into. So what we're also have done and created over time is, because people were getting so buried with all the postings on the main page, if you can imagine, it's been scaling. Because, you know, listen, bro, it's like in 6 years we're at 900, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 4,700 now. So just shows that there's a hunger and desire for fellowship and connectivity. And so what we've done is we've created regional or city ones. And, you know, one great group is obviously Ohio Valley, you know, with Curtis. I mean, he's just blowing it up.
Curtis is doing such a great job there. I'm really looking forward to the next time I'm out there and sitting down with him and getting some stories and talking about how he's, because, I mean, of all the chapter leaders I think that we have around the world, Curtis is in that top echelon, that top 1% of really being intentional and working on developing that area. And yeah, he's doing some really cool stuff. I'm so glad that he's in the group and has taken that mantle of being the K of, you know, Columbus and that southwestern
Ohio Valley.
Yeah.
So he's now 300 people, and he started deputizing now and identifying champions in different cities. So Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, and other places in the Ohio Valley. And so we're talking through a strategy on how to really decentralize it more. And that's really the key for scale, right? So Ohio Valley region, because he felt he had a good handle on the peoples and relationships. And then when it started getting critical mass, he started assigning for cities as he's growing that thing. And he's just done a phenomenal job. And of course, Orlando's great with Eric and with Reinhold down there.
And Tampa with Scott Smith.
Scott's.
I love Scott. He's such a good dude.
Yeah, great guys. And of course, we're going to have a palm clave there in April in Florida. So if you guys, especially in the northern part of the country, want to get out of the snow and hang out, they did a phenomenal job hosting us last year. We spent time in Ybor City, which is really historically the hometown of cigars. And then, of course, Tampa has some great cigar lounges there. Davidoff is just a phenomenal experience. And I heard that new one, was that Cathedral or something like that? I forget the name.
I don't know.
So this is an old church or Abbey. That's Smoker's Abbey's in Nashville, which is a great story to share, but sometime other. And then we spent a couple days there, and then we went to Orlando. And there's obviously a great group of guys in Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
So Palm Clave is going to be a blast.
Nice. And then we are going to be doing another conclave here. We don't have the dates yet, but the last 2 years was in August, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so, we'll definitely announce that on the podcast once we do, because, sure. How many people showed up last year?
150 plus.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
And it was very humbling you guys get me that roller full of cigars. That was great. And yes, I did smoke them within about a month. And there was a lot of cigars in there, they're awesome cigars. So thank you to everybody, and especially Meg and Etienne, who really spearheaded that effort. And of course, they're huge champions and anchors in the leadership here of Holy Smokes. Yeah. We're looking at the conclave in July or August time frame here in Colorado Springs, because it's so beautiful here in Colorado Springs. So we're trying to think up some type of events or some kind of things to do. And of course, Paul Felitis at his place is always epic, in downtown Colorado Springs, his backyard. He is truly just a model of hospitality and the penultimate Holy Smokes host. So just big shout out to our dear friend Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been creating these regional Facebook groups on Facebook, but one of the tools that both you and I are really excited about that we started last year is basically our own private Holy Smokes using a software platform called Mighty Networks. And it's basically like a Facebook, a private Facebook, if you will, private social media platform. And while it's not really active, both you and I are really excited about what this could do for the group in terms of really being able to regionalize groups, allow people when they're traveling to temporarily join Nashville Franklin, and then let everyone know, so that way people that are there in the Nashville Franklin area can better see. Because one of the problems I've seen with Facebook is it shows up in your feed or it doesn't.
Right. Because of the algorithms.
Exactly. Right. And so there are lots of things here in Colorado Springs that I'll miss because I'm not checking Facebook or I'm not. And so,
let me share a little bit about the history of that, and I would like you to share how can people sign up for it, and I'm going to share the reasons why we're doing this, guys and gals. Number one is my gut is telling me that this is more intuitive than anything else, but also I think it's factual that Facebook has become more restrictive on their algorithms relative to Christian faith-based types of groups, even if they're private and secret. Plus, they're just data mining all our information, and that bothers me at certain levels. So even though it's a private secret Facebook page and we have all these regional and city ones, I believe that Mighty Networks is a great platform for us to gradually migrate over to and start using as a means of communicating with each other, because we're in control of that data then. And then that way we don't have to be behooven to a Facebook that could actually cancel us at any time, block us at any time, just because we're Christians or because we smoke. Right? Because there's anti-smokers in that whole, sort of perspective. So that's why Mighty Networks is really, I believe, a good pathway for us to look at. And you'll be seeing more and more of that over the year of how to get people over. And we want to see more people joining that and start using it. So why don't you share about how to do that?
Yeah. So on our website, holysmokes.club, you'll see a sign-up link, and then it'll take you to Mighty Networks. And then you just register. You fill out the questions, and once one of us admins see it and you agree to our 4 rules, no assholes, what happens at Holy Smokes stays at Holy Smokes, no selling,
Right.
and
Holy
leave room for God, Holy Spirit to work.
That's right. So where is it on the page then, bro? Is it? Can you exactly say? Is it on?
It's on the top.
Is it on the
So there's
part of the announcements.
No, it's on the top.
Okay.
So you have podcast, you have home, you have. I think the store is on there, which we'll talk about in a second, and then sign up. I think it's sign up /register, something like that, and then just click on that, and it automatically takes you to the Mighty Networks. Right. And one of the really cool things that and I'm totally open to people's feedback and opinion and that kind of stuff. But one of the things that I've done in the Mighty Networks group is I've created a page so that way if people want to talk politics, they can talk politics. And if they want to talk health and biohacking, like I freaking love, we can talk about, the latest stuff that we're doing,
So you
latest
actually
supplements.
have little subject channels that people can
Exactly.
talk about. Okay.
We have cigars, we have drink, we have health, politics, faith, and I think there might be a couple more in there. But then also we have chapters where people can join the individual chapters. And what we can do is we can create individual chapters. Like this week, I just created one for Idaho.
Awesome.
And we've got a few guys that have joined there. And so if listeners are in Idaho, go register and sign up there.
Great.
And if you don't see a region, I'm starting broad, like the states generally, unless there's like a major metropolitan area, like in Southern California. I can't just create a California one. So I've created Inland Empire, and I've created Orange County, and I've created San Diego County, and I believe I've created San Diego County.
Okay.
So that way, because we have vibrant groups in all 3 of those areas, as well as Los Angeles. I think I've created one for the LA area. So we'll create the main group for a state like Idaho or a state like Wisconsin. And then as it grows and as we need, then we'll create a Madison group, and we'll create a Milwaukee group, and we'll create, a Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha group. And then we'll, based on those regions that really seem to be having a lot of people and are growing, we can create those groups, give moderators the ability to be able to moderate.
Yep.
And one of the beautiful things about it is when a moderator creates or an admin, they create an event, they can notify. And Mighty Networks is the only social media platform that I have turned on for notifications. Just because
for you personally.
Exactly. Because I've turned off notifications for just about everything. So that way, when I'm working, I'm focused on work, and my phone isn't buzzing and distracting me. Mighty Networks is the only one, because I want to know if something's going on.
Right.
And so I want to be able to quickly get someone into the group. I want to be able to, if an event is created that I'm able to go to, then, I'm able to
Be aware of it.
Be aware of it.
Yeah. And we are spending money on that.
Yes.
So it is so as a group, we've been taking offerings and stuff like that. So if you do want to seed into that, just contact Steve or I, and we can give you a tax deductible place where you can give some donations. But, basically there's 2-3 guys that basically been really funding this operation and just to serve the community as a whole. But if you feel like, want to send us some money, we obviously welcome it.
Yeah. It will go towards the podcast. It'll go towards Mighty Networks. It'll go towards traveling and visiting some of our chapters. I got to go to North Carolina this year. I really want to. I'm going to Dallas again. I'm definitely coming out to Franklin. I'm going out to Seattle this summer with the boys, taking the boys. We're likely going to do a road trip and make it a road trip. And so I'm going to get to see those guys in Idaho and hang out a bunch with the guys up in the Pacific Northwest.
Now, what's been really cool about the podcast, maybe we could segue into that, Steve, is I'm getting like text messages from people or, through the Facebook, and the messaging system, of guys that have heard the podcast and like they're joining through that.
Yes.
Which is so cool.
Which has happened really since the beginning.
It's like the top 5 in the nation or the world of like cigar like podcasts or something like that.
Yeah. We've ranked on iTunes, Apple Podcasts now. We've ranked in the hobby section a few times.
Wow.
And super proud of that. And really, this is fulfilling, this podcast is really fulfilling the vision that you, me, Carl, and Greisen, Carl Muller, and Steve Greisen, that time that we sat at Carl's place a couple of years ago, and we're really kind of saying we need to have this kind of outward-facing ministry, introduction to the group, if you will.
Yeah.
Letting people know that we exist.
Right. We're there to help them.
And bringing on people that are willing to be open and public about, their love of fine tobacco and drink.
Right.
And tell their stories with the goal of really a few goals. One, being, kind of an introduction for people who aren't familiar with the group.
Right.
But then also telling people stories so that way when they show up to Dallas, when they show up to Orlando and Tampa and Charlotte
they
and
can land
Houston,
somewhere.
they know someone there in the group, and they'll be able to say, oh my gosh, Marcellus, when they're in Austin, Marcellus, your story about what you went through with PTSD in the military and
Tim Phillips. He's got a great story there as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Tim on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be blown. He has a great ministry called Core Men's Ministry that he's got going on. His father was Randy Phillips, former president of Promise Keepers at one time, and Tim has a group of about 80 guys showing up like once a month in his backyard smoking cigars and doing unbelievable barbecue. He's an amazing barbecue guy. And that's coming from a foodie. He's a good friend obviously as well. Steve, I just want to thank you so much for really single-handedly, with your son, of course, who's helped fulfill orders, the Holy Smokes store for swag. Because guys have constantly said, man, I love the logo that Steve Greisen actually paid for and designed and got all that, the outstretched hands of Jesus with no head, which is kind of creepy at some levels, but I love it. And it's got that Harley Davidson vibe on it. And how swag is really important from an identifying standpoint. So say if you're sitting at a cigar lounge and you see the Holy Smokes label on something, they're like, hey, you're part of that group. I'm a part of that group. that helps. Yeah. And I've even had guys even use it to put a little sign up at a table if they're doing a Holy Smokes. Because it's hard, because if you've never met anybody, hey, Holy Smokes meets here kind of thing on a piece of paper or whatever. The Holy Smokes store, I want to really thank you for all the hard work you put into it. Obviously we're going to have different types of things that we're going to add on to it as well, but the hats, the shirts, and obviously people have different tastes and stuff. So as we're moving into springtime and summer, we're probably gonna have like golf shirts and get hoodies down the road and all that. Tell me how it's going.
So it's going well. It's not going as well as I thought it would, and I think part of that is just a lot of people just don't know. And so one of the beautiful things is that we get people that are sharing with their t-shirt or the laser etched bourbon glasses that we have, and we only have like about 30 or 35 left. So if people want one, they got to get it now, because this first version is a very limited run. I'm not going to run this one. We'll probably do another design at some point in the future. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been really cool to hear from people, and then when they get it, to send me a picture and with their t-shirt or with a cigar next to their laser etched Holy Smokes bourbon glass.
There you go.
So I'm having a blast with it. I really am, because this community has done so much for me. This community have been so much in my life since I met you really for the first time in 2014. And so I love this community, and I want to see it flourish, because I know what it's done for me in my life, and I want to make the same impact on other people's lives.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. And, really want to honor you as, one of the leaders of the Holy Smokes Fellowship community that we have. How does someone find the Holy Smokes store?
So go to holysmokes.club. Okay. And there's a shop or store or merch. It's a link up on the very top of the website. Just click on there, poke around. We've got a long sleeve t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts. We've got hats, which those hats fit so beautifully. I've got a large noggin, and the hats it was one that I went to a local place in town, Bravo Screen Printing, and tried on a bunch of different hats and fell in love with the two. I've got a kind of a khaki color, I think it's called Desert Sand.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is kind of a military kind of feel to it, which Colorado Springs is a strong military town. And then we've got a nice black, they're flex fit hats, so that you don't have to worry about, you just figure out what size, approximate size. We have large, extra large, medium large, small medium, I think are the sizes that we have for it. Then we've got stickers. We've got cool. Yeah, we've got little, I think it's like 4-inch stickers, and then we've got bigger 12-inch stickers that you can put on like the back of your vehicle, like I did on my Jeep. It looks so good.
So I got to get more stickers, because all the ones you've given me or I bought from you, I've given them all away. Like I'll show it, the guy goes, "I want that," and I'm like, "Okay." So I don't have one sticker. I mean, I think
so here's what you got to do. You just got to put it on something, and then put it on your Herfador.
Yeah.
And then, hey, we've got some stickers. Okay, go to the website and order it there.
Yeah, I'm a giver, so it's great. So buy extra stickers and give them away.
Magnets, we've got some magnets.
Oh, no way. Cool.
Yeah, so you can stick it on your fridge, you can stick it on your vehicle, you can stick it wherever you want, in your wood shop, on your toolbox, whatever it is you want to stick it on.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's about it for now. And we have a second T-shirt design from Matthew Brink it's a Spurgeon design.
Awesome.
So I'm
got to get a Winston Churchill. I'm putting a plug for Winston Churchill. So.
Oh yeah, I want to do a Mark Twain. I want to do a Churchill. I want to do C.S. Lewis and pipe.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So holysmokes.club.
Holysmokes.club.
Great. And then you can go on there and check it out.
Yeah, and the goal is really to have a lot more stuff. It really is. But the problem that I've run into is we seeded this with some money, and now we're just trying to get that, the money back into the account so we can get more stuff. Right. And, we want to get some hoodies. We want to get some, what are they called? Capybara shirts? Cuyabera.
Yes.
Cuyabera shirts.
Down in Cuba and Latin American countries in South Florida area, they wear them. They're great. They're
nice and light and awesome. Breathable.
It'd be cool to have a little logo on there.
And that's what we're doing. And I have a vendor there in Miami, I believe it is, who gave me a great quote. Awesome. And so we need to move more product in order to justify making the investment. Yeah. And one of the things I'm actually thinking about doing with the store is putting in some kind of pre-order. So that way we can advertise it for a month, blast it out to people, letting them know, and then we'll know about how many to order. That way I don't have,
some cash outlay there.
Not just that though, but I don't have boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff that are just sitting around. I want to say it was 50 women's tank tops, and I've only sold a handful of those. And so it's one of those things where
your wife, think about getting a women's tank top for...
And the T-shirts they're Bella Canvas T-shirts, so nice and soft, really breathable. I mean, they fit amazing.
So if anybody has any ideas for stuff, they can send it to you, Steve? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, Steve, again, thank you so much. Love to post this on the Facebook pages all across this, so people can... And please support the community by buying some Holy Smoke swag, not only for yourself, but also share with your groups, and possibly even buying some extra hats and then selling them, to a bunch of guys there and get it out that way.
Last year, I had a client who I've never interacted with him, but I've only interacted with his assistant, Kevin East. He runs a nonprofit there in Tyler, Texas.
Nice.
Called the Mentoring Alliance. And on a call that I had, my first call I had with him, I just asked him the question at the end, "Hey, you happen to like an occasional cigar?" And he was like, "Bro, I love cigars." And so we immediately connected. I added him to the group. And literally within a week, he bought 4 hats, I believe it was, for him and 4 other friends, 2 of which were already in the Holy Smokes group. And so it was like, awesome. This is so cool. So we have a group in Tyler. If you know anyone in Tyler, add them.
Yeah, if you're going through East Texas, Lindale, Tyler, you just got to look them up.
Oh, yeah.
On Holy Smokes. Well, thanks. Again, holysmokes.club.
Holysmokes.club.
So thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks, bro. Hey everyone, I wanted to announce that we have Holy Smokes gear. That's right, we have swag. We currently have hats, shirts, stickers like for your vehicle or your travel humidor, magnets, even branded bourbon glasses for a limited time. Go to holysmokes.club and click on the shop tab. That's holysmokes.club. I'm super proud of the shirts. They're made with Bella Canvas shirts that are soft and incredibly comfortable. The hats fit wonderfully, which can be a problem for those of us with big noggins. We plan on having a lot more to offer, like Guayabera shirts, additional t-shirt designs, beanies, polos, hoodies, cigar accessories, and much more. Check it out. And even if you don't make a purchase now, be sure to sign up for that email list, as I've thrown a couple big discount coupon codes for those exclusively on that list. So click the shop tab at holysmokes.club. Thanks.